Welcome to video number 5 in our professional development series on online teaching and learning that focuses on student-to-student engagement. In this video, we're going to look at 2 online teaching theories. The theories are community inquiry model and the 4 roles of the online teacher. So let's start with the community inquiry model. Garrison and Anderson propose a community of inquiry framework for online learning that consists of 3 presences. So thinking about these presences when you think about engagement online. The social presence, the cognitive presence, and the teaching presence. It's grounded in a social constructivist perspective, which suggests that learning is social in nature and that collaborating with others leads to that individual learning, but also that collective knowledge, that group level learning. It's such a fundamental model when thinking about online education. So let's go through the 3 presences. Cognitive presence you would feel familiar with when students are working together cognitively to engage in cognitive thought. This would be things like dilemmas and problems, developing that sense of puzzlement, exploration, integration, finding a resolution. Commonly, this includes a practical inquiry process where students are questioning each other and exploring ideas. Then we have the social presence, which is key, fundamental, because students aren't going to engage unless they feel comfortable and there's a sense of trust. So that includes that open communication, group cohesion, that effective expression, which encourages collaboration. For example, things like identifying with fellow learners and developing those interpersonal relationships, and also considering the teacher as a co-participant in those environments. So it can be in synchronous or asynchronous, but the social presence is very, very important. The last presence is what we're calling teaching presence, what Garrison and Anderson call teaching presence. That's about the teacher humanizing themselves, but also considering that every person in that community is a teacher, supporting each other for this group cohesion and that deeper understandings that together as a community that are unfolding. So the teacher is engaging and supporting learning as a co-participant, designing and facilitating that education. You've probably noticed that these 3 elements have come up again and again in this video. So when teaching online, we have to make space for relationships. We have to ensure as a teacher our presence and our humanized sense of making mistakes, repeating ourselves, things that we naturally do. And we have to hold space for students to engage with each other around the content. Now let's move to the 4 roles of the online teacher, and that's our second model. The 4 roles are the managerial role, pedagogical role, social role, and technological role. It's a simple model, but it's a really good reflective checklist on how you're engaging but also designing your online learning activities. The managerial role is where we set the structure of our online activities, the due date, the timetables, the overall ebb and flow of the activities, providing clear instructions, easy to follow, examples, and having that information in an easy to find manner. So that's when you put your managerial hat on. When you put your pedagogical hat on, you encourage and engage students in that dialogue around those critical concepts, skills, and those learning outcomes. The key here is collaboration. And it's critical that we get students actively involved in that learning process and to grow rather than just to receive that knowledge. Next, we come to the social role. This is the tone of the learning environment. This is where you as a teacher are really present and human and approachable, and you support students to be approachable and co-teach with you. This is part of your role when you create those online environments, where you give students the opportunity to bring their real personality personality to life, where you let your students interact with each other and build rapport with each other and with you. And finally, we have the technological role. This is where you are responsible for the purposeful selection of the technology. So what different tools, digital tools, will help you achieve the different learning outcomes and intentions that you want to achieve? And that goes back to TPAC, that theory we've previously unpacked. Which digital tool would you choose to use in a specific way to engage students with each other within the context of developing that discipline knowledge? You would have noticed some overlapping ideas between these two models. They both value the humanized, highly present teacher. They both promote the importance of social relationships to support collaboration, and they both highlight knowledge as something to be grown, to be explored, to be discovered and collaborated around. This is the last video in the first set of 5 videos for the why. We next move on to the what, 5 videos, and then the how. If we recap the why online, there's been a rapid growth in flexible learning pathways for students at all levels of education. And it's the responsibility of all teachers, including school environments, to build students' capability to learn online, to be those lifelong learners. Teaching online requires a lot of conscious behaviours, especially around things you probably do unconsciously and instinctively in classrooms, in face-to-face settings where we know our pedagogy. But this is acknowledging the difference in these learning spaces. TPAC tells us digital tools open up opportunities for different learning opportunities. We're not trying to replicate the classroom, but instead we embrace the affordances of digital tools to offer up engaging learning opportunities for students beyond the classroom setting. Both models, the community of inquiry and the 4 roles, emphasize the importance of humanized environments that require that social learning engagement. In the next series, Series 2, we have 5 videos that present the what, a theoretical model for student-to-student online engagement that outlines principles for teaching based on that systematic literature review of research we've done in school-based online learning and teaching. Here are the references, as always, provided at the end, and this is the last video in this set. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.